Hi guys, and welcome again to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me this year. I'm so excited to be here, and I just wanted to make sure that I recorded as many videos as possible for you guys because you are just so cool and you deserve all the hard work. So today I want to share, I just want to talk to you guys really about a video, an email I received, and quite a few that I have received from one of you wonderful people out there. I am always really happy to receive an email. Sometimes I can't get back to you as quickly as I would like to, but I always make sure that I give it my best shot and I get back to you at some point within 7 days. But I really just want to say thank you so much for your emails and all the questions that you ask me. And I had a question from a very lovely young lady, and she said to me, how do I stay ahead of the competition? You know, her scenario was you know, she's interested in someone, and she's just starting off her dating career, and she just feels like there's a lot of competition, a lot of girls out there who are bringing their game, who are looking for the same, you know, and it really just hit me, and I thought, right, I'm gonna do a video about this, because unfortunately, no matter how confident and self-assured you are, there's always this thing called competition. And I've always, my sort of thing is I don't compete, I lead. And that just means that I refuse to compare myself to anyone else, because then I stop leading in my life. I stop being me, because as long as you are you will always lead. And because you can always lead your life, you can always be the best you. There isn't another version of yourself. So what I wanted to share with you guys today is, I know we hear a lot of this sort of, oh, you know, just be yourself. Like, what the hell does that mean, really? Like, it feels so abstract. Like, be yourself. What does that mean? And for me, I remember a situation that I found myself in I've always refused to compete. Because I remember my late pastor used to say to me, Chengi, whenever there's competition, there shall be an inferior and there shall be a superior. And there shall be a complex to go with both. And so when she said that, it really triggered something in me. And I thought, whenever you compete, if the other person wins, you walk away with an inferiority complex. And if you win, you walk away with a superiority complex. Therefore, there never are any true winners. And I know I'm very unpopular every time I sort of do the whole I don't compete thing. My friends are like, yeah, but competition is healthy and is good. And I totally refuse to take that path, because I feel as though I can't win that. I can't win at being better than somebody else who has a unique thumbprint, who has a unique destiny, who has a unique thing about them that they bring into the world that I could never compete with. Like, I don't believe in competing with looks, because we would have to be like identical twins, and then I don't know, how would we compete if we look the same? Like, I don't see how you can, a daisy can compete with a lily. I just think, how does a rose compete with a lily? Like, I don't know. I've never been comfortable with the idea. When I was younger, I used to do a lot of beauty pageants, and that was really just about ego, you know. It was because that's what you did growing up as well. With beauty pageants was such a big deal, and you know, one day I'll grow up and maybe be a beauty queen one day and validate that I am beautiful or not, you know. And I did a lot of them, and I remember being crowned for one of them, and I remember feeling like a fraud. I remember thinking, there's no way I'm the prettiest girl on this stage. I just didn't buy it, you know. I didn't think I was the smartest, and I certainly didn't think I was the prettiest. And I kind of felt like somebody's gonna come and say, can we have our crown back, please? Because I don't think you're the, you know, you're the winner. And since then, I never joined another pageant, because I have always had me to compete with. I've always had you know, when I look in the mirror, when I look at my videos, I always think, Chengi, you could have done that better. You could do this better. You could wear your hair better. I am always my competition. So as a result, I found that great balance. Now, I found myself in a situation quite strangely the other day where I was in a situation where there was only really one eligible guy, and the room was full of beauties, like God, you know. And I'm one of those people who celebrates beauty. I'm that girl who will come up to you and say, girl, you look good. Honey, you are like looking good. You're so beautiful. You're so pretty. I'm like a giver. I love looking at beautiful people and people who take care of themselves. And, you know, I love seeing beauty in others. And I'll be the first to tell you how gorgeous I think you are. And what happened was there was this one guy, and, you know, I wasn't actually there looking for a guy at all. I was just in a whole different space. And, you know, he just seemed to sort of be circling me. And I know when a guy is into me because he sort of makes sure that when I lift up my eyes is in my eye space, and men have a way of circling their prey a little bit. I know it's a bit like hunting. They sort of circle you. So if you want to know if a guy's into you in a room, you will find him coming close and trying to sort of corner you off a little bit. So because I'm sort of tuned in, I sort of thought, oh, okay, but I just wasn't in that space. And over time, I think the idea of him started to grow on me a little bit. And because somewhere that I had to go a few times, and the idea of him started to grow on me. And I thought, it's not bad. Okay, maybe, you know, I was in that sort of open-minded space. And the one thing that then happened to me is I started to look around, and I started seeing all of these really beautiful women. And I hadn't really noted them before, except for, I like her style, I love her shoes, you know, because I'm always looking to snap a bit of style from other people and there's some things, you know, I could go on and on, but I'm an appreciator of people that, you know, have something to offer. And for the first time, I felt like I was in the middle of competition. I felt like, oh my God, I'm not like the prettiest girl. I'm not there's so many other women that he could be interested in. All of a sudden I started sort of observing every time he moved, and other women would sort of follow him, and I thought, well, did you think you're the only one who thought he was pretty? And I just found myself in a bit of an insecurity, a little bit of a crisis, because I was thinking, girl, are you for real? And I just hit myself back, and then I started to get into this whole kind of, my wardrobe started to go up a little bit, because I was dressing a bit casual, and I was sort of wanted to make sure that I was sort of on the same level as the women that were there. And then it dawned on me that I was showing up in my Converse and dress. I was like dressed down, hardly any makeup, hair back. And he still, in the middle of all the pretty women, managed to sort of single me out. And the reason he singled me out was because I was different. It's because I wasn't overdoing it like the other girls. I wasn't looking like Miss Supermodel. I was just sort of there for what I was there for. My mind was on what I'd gone to that place for. I was on a whole different frequency. Therefore, I wasn't trying to pull. I wasn't even on that frequency. And it actually drew him to me. And it sort of snapped me back into my space, because I thought, gosh, you know, I found myself sort of trying to find new outfits and trying to, you know, be on that competition thing. And I realized we fall easily into that, especially when it comes to men, and we want the attention. But my message to you girls and to the young lady who wrote to me is quite simply, men, as we are as women, you walk into a room and you're drawn to what you're drawn to. And if somebody is drawn to you as you are in the midst of all the beauties, then you and what you symbolize and what you stand for is what they're actually attracted to. Therefore, and of course, I'm not the Converse and just dress girl. I am a dress up girl. I dress up pretty much everywhere. So for me to stay in Converses and, you know, was not gonna happen. But I realized that if I tried to enter the frequency of competition, I would lose my value, not only to him, but to myself. and I would stop loving the other women the way I loved them. And I didn't want to be a bitch. I didn't want to descend to a lower frequency and vibrate at a lower frequency, because whenever you get into competition, whenever you get malicious or jealous or envious, your energy levels drop and you start to vibrate at a really low frequency. And that's what I was trying to avoid. So I realized that actually, Chingy, you can rise up and be you. Like, be you. You've never been the girl to wear 6-inch heels to a place like that. You've never been the girl to wear like false lashes. I hardly wear them unless I'm feeling a little bit like I really want to dress up. You've never been the girl to sort of do certain things. Don't start now. Be you. Like, be your best version of yourself. And that person, if they're still interested in you, then you're good. And if they're not, then, you know, still love, because there might be somebody else in here who's right for them, and you don't want to be with somebody who's not right for you. So my message to you is quite simple. Stay in your lane, you know. Just stay in your lane. And it goes beyond the superficial. You know, even as a YouTuber, sometimes I get caught up and think, oh my gosh, you know, will I ever be like this person? You know, I admire them, but I can't. And the reason I follow them and admire them is because they do something that I can't do, and they have something I don't have. So instead of trying to change myself into them so that I can grow my channel to their extent or to be like them, I realized if I'm more myself, then it's easier for people to follow me and my frequency and vibrate in my frequency and buy into my authenticity. And so that's true in everything, in love, life, and business. Is be you, define your brand. As I said in one of my other videos, the top things for dating beginners: know your brand, know who you are, be comfortable in your own skin. And when you walk into the room, like, have your swag, like, walk into the room as you. And I promise you, you will never have to worry about other women except being the person that loves them. And I'll tell you something, if you're the girl that walks into the room looking to appreciate the beauty in others, looking to elevate your fellow woman, you start to vibrate at a really high frequency. And because it's always been my MO, I always walk into the room and I charge my heart with love towards my sisters. If we go out and we're having a good time at a party, I don't want to, I check my energy and I check my thoughts, because they create the energy. So I check my thoughts and I think, am I appreciating my sisters? Are they looking good? If they're not looking good enough, I'm like, sit down guys, do your eyeliner. You need to look good. And I will do their makeup or do their hair, because I want them looking good, because I want me vibrating at a frequency that is high. And that is by giving that love. I don't need to be the prettiest girl in the room. I don't need to be the flyest girl. I don't need to be the most fashionable girl in the room. I just need to be the best version of myself when I walk into a room. And this is what has happened in the past. What's happened in the past is, every time I've been in a scenario like that with my girlfriends, when I've spent more time making them look pretty, and then I sort of have to rush my look. But it doesn't matter, because I want to give and vibrate at a high frequency. And what ends up happening is, usually the hottest guy in the room, the most eligible guy, ends up sort of gravitating towards me, like, because we're energy, we're frequencies, and we vibrate. And so my advice to you is, never walk into the room and check other girls and say, oh, that girl's just like, don't do that, because it lowers your frequency. There's something powerful about love, especially to people who don't deserve it, or people who don't know that they need it. When you walk into a room, when you're going out with your man, or you're going out with your friends, and you walk into a room full of beautiful women, like, don't spend all night talking about that pretty girl over there or running another woman down. Like, spend time appreciating and thinking, you know what, I love how she's wearing those boots for that outfit, you know, I never thought of that. And be the girl that walks up to her and say, you look good, honey, you're looking good. Make some other woman's day. And guess what, it will come back to you, and you will find that the compliments that will come to you, you will get people complimenting you, people getting loving on you. And the man you're with, if you're dating him and he sees that energy about you, you become doubly attractive, because guess what? You're not intimidated by other women. So you must think, yeah, she's got that confidence. So that's my video from me to you. It is stay in your lane, know who you are, love you, stay true, love you, boo. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Love you lots.